All right, cool. All right, sweet.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy Wilson. You watching EmceeTV The Podcast, coming at you live from Des Moines, from EmceeTV Studios in Des Moines, Iowa. And today I got the one and only
Stacc Styles, Suburban Noize Records, SRH, Dope Shop in the house.
Hell yeah. That's what's up, bro. Man, I'm super excited to have you on with me today. Very excited to tell your story and just have an opportunity to just kind of chop it up with you a little bit and just have fun.
Hell yeah, man. Much love. Appreciate it.
Yeah, most def. Okay, so we'll just start off kind of in the beginning, bro. Okay, so how old are you?
I actually just turned 42.
Okay, I'm 42 as
Yeah.
well.
All right, there you go. That's what's up.
Hell
42
yeah.
years young. I don't feel 42.
Nah, me either, man. I think I'm probably in some of the best health and whatever that I've been in my entire life. So
Yeah, hey, me too, bro. Me too, for real,
yeah.
man. The last, shit, to my 20s and 30s, man, it was just destruction.
Yes. Yeah, I was very hard on this shell of a body that I had back then.
Yeah, me too, bro. I hear you.
All right, so you grew up in Arizona. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, actually, I was born in Conroe, Texas. I then moved out to Oakland, California. I then moved out to Santa Fe, New Mexico, and then moved to Tucson, Arizona. So I was all over the place as a kid, and but I spent most of my life growing up in Arizona, in Tucson, Arizona. Since like '94, man.
Okay.
So I was from 94 to I want to say 2004. And my parents were separated. So I went and stayed with my dad a lot, like during the summers in Texas. And sometimes even in Mexico.
Oh,
But
that's dope.
yeah. So but I was from 94 to 04 until I got signed to the first label, Seizure Records in Canada. I was in Arizona, man. So like Arizona is home, you know.
Okay, so who were some of the people that you came up listening to that kind of inspired your taste in music and your style of music?
Oh man, a lot of people, think that like my influences are like Tech Nine and Cottonmouth Kings and stuff, which is true. I definitely have Cottonmouth Kings and Tech Nine were like a big influence on me, like coming up for sure. But one of like big influences with me was Eli from Living Legends, and then Idea and Abilities. So like I really at the time, like I kind of had different phases. I had different homies, that I was kicking it with, and they would show me different stuff, and so I got really into like Living Legends and Rhyme Sayers and Idea and Abilities and all that stuff. Like, and I loved the way they chopped. And then my other homies started showing me Twista. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to Twista too, and going and diving into like Adrenaline Rush and that stuff as well. So, and then on top of like Tech Nine and Cottonmouth Kings and Suburban Noize Records artists and stuff like that. So I had a lot of different influences and a lot of different things coming up, like, and in the beginning, my older brother was showing me like Spice One, Ice-T, Beastie Boys, like that was like Run DMC. That was all, like when I was like a little kid. And then as I got older, when I was like 11, 12, 13, 14, all that, that's when I started tapping into like all this other stuff.
Hell yeah. We just got a comment up in here. It's from Los and Loud Podcast. He said, "My dude, much love to the homie Stacc Styles, brother, killing it out here."
Yeah, hell yeah. Shouts out to Los and Loud, man.
Hell yeah. Okay, so that was going to be one of the questions I was going to ask. Do you have any siblings or anything? But you said you got a brother.
I had an older brother. He passed away in 2020, sadly, man.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he took his own life, dude. It sucked. So like, it's just, I was my older brother. Like we were real close, and I feel like it's kind of crazy. Like I feel like he's watching over me and shit. So it's like kind of like I don't know. It's just one of those things, man. Like we were real close, and it sucks that he's not here. but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? It's like everything happens for a reason, and I'm a firm believer that he's like in a better place. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I have two younger sisters who are my half sisters. But like it's fam, you know what I'm saying? So like I don't get to see them as much as I'd like to. But yeah, I do have two twin sisters, two younger twin sisters. So
Oh, that's
uh,
cool.
yeah, yeah. So I do have some like my older brother was like that's who I was like real close with, grew up with, everything like that, man. And so like me and him went to hell and back together a few times.
I'm one of 5 boys, and
Oh wow.
my oldest brother passed away when I was 10. And kind of
Oh
like
man.
you said, I feel like like I've been in some fucked up situations where I've made some terrible decisions or whatever.
Yeah,
And I definitely feel like somebody was watching out for me. And
yeah.
more than likely he was up there, like, hey, it ain't his time yet.
That's
So
awesome, dude. That's awesome.
I
Yeah,
can
I feel that.
relate.
I totally relate to that, man.
Hell
For
yeah.
sure.
Um, okay, dope. So when you were growing up as a kid, so I grew up in Wyoming and there was zero hip hop up there. You know what I mean? Like we were watching,
Oh shit.
we're the
Yeah.
same, we're the same age. So I was watching Bill Bellamy Jam's Countdown. You know what I mean? Like all my hip hop was consumed off of MTV or BET because I grew up with, and I'm not shitting on Wyoming, but there was just a lot of cowboy influence and country
Oh
music and
yeah.
whatnot. There was nobody out there doing hip hop. But what was Arizona like? Did you guys have a hip hop? Was there people out there kind of doing hip hop music as you came up?
Yeah, yeah. Like I didn't really get into the scene. I didn't get into the scene like of like the local Tucson hip hop scene. I really didn't get like tap into that until like 2000, 2001. And we knew some heads here and there, but like that's when I really started like meeting like like met MC Moses, and like there was like found out about like this older generation of like artists that was out there, like Influence and stuff like that. And then I went to Club Congress. I want to say I went to Club Congress and saw Influence open for Eli and PSC. And it's so funny because like I got kicked out of that shit for smoking weed, bro. Like the homie, I just lit up I didn't think, because I at the time like I had been to like Cottonmouth King concerts and shit, you know what I'm saying? So like I didn't think nothing of it. I just lit up a joint, dude. Next thing I know, I thought one of my homies was like picking me up. Nah, dog, it was security, dude.
Oh
And they
no.
and they used, dude, they like, it was crazy, bro. They used my head as like a battering ram through the door and shit, like over some weed shit. But that's how crazy like weed was back then. It was like it was a big no-no, and like fucking they tripped out. And but that's how I found out. Like I remember after that I started going to like the Muse and stuff in Tucson. That's how I discovered like Jive and Scientist and Joint Custody and Sean Harris. I ended up meeting Sean Harris. Like Sean Harris introduced Shock G and Merce. Like the reason why Shock G and Merce got together was because Sean Harris, like he introduced those two.
That's
So it's
dope.
really,
I didn't know that.
yeah, 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 it's crazy. And I just went on tour with Sean Harris, man. He's still doing it to this day. He's still doing it. And like he's now he's like he's tripping out because he's like, damn, he's like, I'm opening for Stacc. Like I'm touring with Stacc now. Like it's crazy. And it's really cool, man. Like that's when I really started getting into the Tucson hip hop scene, and like realizing that there was like B-boys and taggers and MCs and DJs and all this shit. And like uh, uh, we got into the voice box battles. There was this voice box battles that they used to do. Or no, I'm sorry, not voice box battles. It was mic fights. Mic fights was the first battle league, and that's how I met James Cypherface and the F and Somebodies and all those dudes, man. So like, that's really what got me into the scene, man. And what crazy. Speaking of my brother earlier, my brother was actually locked up with Cypherface's producer, and they were both locked up in like I think they were in like Longpole like prison, dude. And my brother actually saved him in a fight. Like dude got jumped. My brother saved him, and like dude was like, "Yo, man, if I could ever do anything for you, let me know." And he's like, "Hey, he's like, I know you do shit in Tucson. Put my brother on a show." And Cypherface came and found me, and he's like, "Hey, dude, my producer is locked up with your brother. He told me to put you on the show." And I was like, "Yeah." So like my brother actually got me on like that was like my first like real gig out in Tucson, man. Like that was in 2007. Um, and yeah, so it's a crazy story, man. Like it's just there's so many. I got so many crazy stories like that. That's where it's all connected, you know.
That's dope. Okay, so before you got put on in that situation, were you already like, I know a lot of dudes get into rhyming ciphers with the homies or you know what I mean, just rhyming in the lunchroom or whatever. Were you kind of tapped in on that, or were you more just at the crib writing quietly in the background?
No, we used to like when we were in high school, bro. I want to say like 99, 2000. So it's probably God, probably like coming out of my freshman year, going into sophomore year. Like we had a homie Erao, man. Erao was like all about like freestyling and rapping and shit. He would get us all into that shit, man. And so I remember it was like that summer. I want to say summer of '99, and we used to take an Iowa boombox, and we would download beats off of Napster, and we would play those on, and we would burn like go to have a Radio Shack mic hooked into the fucking Iowa shit, and we recorded onto a cassette tape, and we would just like rap over fucking beats we get on Napster. You know what I'm saying? Just like whatever instrumentals we could get, mainstream, underground, whatever instrumentals we could get. And I still have those tapes, bro. Like where we would like battle each other or like freestyle against each other. Yeah, some of it's just terrible, motherfucker, motherfucker, motherfucker. Like not even. It's like, come on now. But yeah, man, that's really how we started. And that's how we did it. We download beats off of Napster, we recorded onto a cassette tape, and then later Erao got he was a dual citizen of Canada. So his dad lived in Canada. He went up there, won this rap battle, and the winner of the battle got to record with Seizure Productions. And this is on Vancouver Island. Seizure Productions did work with artists from like Battle Axe, which was Mad Child and Prevail, and that was Mad Child's label, Battle Axe. And so he was doing work with Kiprios from Sweatshop Union, who was also signed to Battle Axe. And so Erao won this fucking tournament, ended up recording with this dude, and we got a demo to him, and that's how we got signed to Seizure Productions and moved to Canada in 2004. So, and that
That's
was when I
dope.
was, yeah, that was when I was with CCS Crew. That was what we were called. We were CCS Crew, or Cultivate Creative Sound Crew. And yeah, we did that for, I mean, that's where it all started, bro. It started from doing those like cassette tapes on Napster, and like just kind of doing it for fun on the weekends, doing beer runs and shit, fucking, you know, spitting raps on a cassette tape and doing all that shit. And then eventually it led to us going to a studio, cutting a demo at Illusion Studios in Tucson, and then we submitted that demo to the homie who was up in Canada, who happened to win a rap battle and was with this producer. And that dude loved it. He loved us, and so he signed us, and we worked our asses off, saved up money, and then all like took a leave of absence or quit our jobs and moved to Canada, bro. And we thought we had hit the big time. We thought we were like rock stars and shit. 19, 20 years old, getting signed to a label in Canada. We thought we were like on our way. Like little did we know.
The work had just begun.
Yeah, oh, dude, total rude awakening, man. Like we thought we were going up there because he was like spicing up the dude we were talking to. He was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna have a house on the beach for you guys in the studio. It's gonna be like a 4-bedroom house on the beach, and like talk all kinds of like just like we're just like just hyping it up, and we're just so stoked to get up there and do this and make this." CCS Crew album, this record, and all this shit, bro. I remember getting all the way up there, dude. Fucking total nightmare getting up there. We're in Vancouver Island, dude. Get through customs and everything. And I remember calling the guy. I'm like, "Hey, bro, we made it. We're here." And he's like, "Holy shit!" He's like, "I can't believe you guys actually came." And I was like,
Oh shit.
my heart sunk, dude. I was like, "Uh-oh." Like, and yeah, man, like it was bad, dude. Like we were up there illegally, man, because like we weren't dual citizens, and like you're only supposed to be up there like 30 days. We were up there for like 5 months
Oh
trying to get
shit.
trying to get jobs under the table, trying to do all this shit, bro. Like I mean, we were having to play rock, scissors, paper, who would sleep on the floor, like who would sleep on the kitchen floor or the hallway floor, because there was like 7 of us in this like 2-bedroom apartment, bro. Like it's like maybe like 750 square feet. It was like it
Oh
was crazy.
shit.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude. Like, and we had no money, no food. Like, bro, if we had hot dogs and mac and cheese, bro, we were living like kings, man. Most of the time, dude, we were having it. We couldn't even, because everything's imported up there. So even like ramen was too expensive. We had to eat this shit called Mr. Skinny Noodle. It was so, yeah, dude, Mr. Skinny Noodle and pierogies, bro. Like that was what we lived off of. It sucked.
Oh damn. So how did you guys get the apartment? Did that dude come through with the apartment, or was he just?
Well, he had it. He had an apartment up there already, but he was like, what we didn't know is that he was like Section 8 of like Canada, like
Oh
it was
shit.
like,
And you guys just stayed with
like,
him.
yeah, we were living in like an apartment complex that was like government housing, like for Canada. Like it was like, it was bad, bro. Like it was funny because like the cab driver, because we had to, we had to take a fucking ferry up to Vancouver Island. Then we had to take a bus from Victoria up the island. And then once we got off the bus, we had to take a cab. The cab driver was like, he's like, where is it at? We gave him the address. He's like, oh, he's like, I ain't going there. So like, yeah, the cab driver like dropped us off down the street. We had to like walk with all our bags to like find this place, man. It was fucking.
Oh
Like,
shit.
yeah, because it wasn't really that bad, but like it was bad to them, for Canada, it was bad. Like they're like the guy was like, it's like Oakland, eh? And I'm like, motherfucker, you never even been to Oakland, so,
I've seen it on TV.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, we made the best of it, man. And we did end up putting out our first CCS Crew album, Reviving Elements. We did have merch. We had a website. Like the guy came through on some of his stuff, but eventually that label just went bankrupt, dude. Like it flopped, and like we had to move back home. And that dude actually ended up moving down to the US and working with us again, like because his company folded. It was just a whole crazy thing. But sadly, our producer at the time, like one of the main guys of CCS Crew, passed away like right after that. Like after we got back from Canada, I think it was maybe like 6 months later, maybe less than 6 months later, our boy passed away. Wobbly Pop, rest in peace. Dub P, MC Wobbly Pop, and he produced all our beats. He was a big part of CCS Crew, and that's really when he passed away in 05. That's what it took us 2 years after that to like pick up the pieces and get it back together. And that's when I finally did my first show that I was telling you about, like that my brother hooked up and everything. So that's really the whole beginning of like how it all started,
Damn, it sounds like you were swimming against the current pretty much the whole time. Like it was,
Yeah.
there'd be a little break, and then all of a sudden it was back to resistance.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I've hit like every roadblock you could imagine in this game, dude. Like for 20 years, dude. I've been doing it for over 20 years now, and it's just like I feel like I've hit like every possible thing you can imagine, dude. It's like it's happened,
Damn.
So,
But I mean, I just watched something with Joey Cool from Strange Music the other day, and it was a little reel or short or whatever that they had put out, and it was like they said something about, what do you tell an up and coming MC when you meet him? And he was like, tell him no, don't do it, don't do it.
yeah.
And he was like,
Yeah.
He basically said, like, when people hear that, the ones that turn and walk away and go, all right, good advice. He was like, they ain't ready for this, because you're going to get way more no's than you are yeses in the beginning. And the ones that get one no and turn and go, or think that they're going to get some big paycheck right out the jump, you know what I mean, aren't the ones that are ready for this, because it takes a long time to make music doing this. And there's a lot of years in the underground scene or in the backdrop before you get that break.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you say that, because I did an interview probably like, I want to say it's probably been like 10 years ago, and I got asked the same question, like, what would you tell MCs now, like coming up in the game, and my response was quit now. I was like, quit now, just quit, like give it up, dude, because it ain't happening, and that's fucked up, because like it's bad. Like I look back on that and I'm like, like. It's more of my what I would say now is just like, you got to really believe in yourself, man. Like that's first and foremost, dude. If you don't believe in yourself and believe in your craft and your art, then don't do it. So
True
you
story.
really got to, you truly got to believe in yourself and believe in your music. You know what I'm saying? That's first and foremost, more than anything. It's like, and my thing is like, my advice would be, you got to believe in yourself, believe in your music, and it's got to be undeniable. It's got to be something that you love to do no matter what. And I think if you're in it for the fame and the fortune, you're in it for all the wrong shit, man. That's just a bonus.
Yeah.
Like that's just a bonus, dude. If that happens, then that's like, so my advice is like, don't quit, don't ever give up, believe in yourself, and just, yes, that's it. Stay the course, stay consistent. That's all I can I can give you, because that's what I've done, is just keep going
Yeah.
no matter what.
Yeah, from the days of pressing up CDs to the digital days now, you know what I mean? And like you got to be able to be moldable and change with the times and stay relevant. And it's a tough deal, you know what I mean? It ain't for the weak hearted.
No, it's rough. It's rough. I try to tell people this all the time. It's like I was just like, it's different. Like a 9 to 5, man. Like this is 24/7 over here, bro. This ain't no 9 to 5, dude. This is fucking. This is no days off all
Yep.
the time. Like we're grinding. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like you really got to have a passion for it. You really got to love this shit, and you really gotta. I mean, really, dude, you gotta fucking learn to love. You had like, what was it like? Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, man. You know?
Real talk. Yeah, because yeah, I mean, just like you said, bro, there like holidays, you know what I mean? Like there you miss so many events
Yeah,
when you're doing stuff like this. Yeah, you got to
yeah,
be dedicated.
for sure, man. It's definitely, you got to sacrifice everything.
Yeah,
Time with loved ones, everything, dude. Like I've lost so much time with loved ones and family and friends and my lady and everything, dude. It's just like, like, so you sacrifice time, money, relationships, all that.
for real. Okay, so you're back in Tucson at this point after coming back from Canada. You guys are
Yeah.
working on a new record, you're rebuilding. Where does the road take you from there?
Well, we ended up, after Dub P passed away, and we ended up doing shows in '07. We started doing a grip of shows. It was crazy, because I guess, people hadn't seen us, or like it was like we had been building and building this momentum. So when we started doing shows in '07, we were like the biggest thing to hit Tucson and like ever. We were packing all the places, man. We were packing places on a Wednesday night when like the U of A wasn't even in session. Like during the summer and during spring break and shit, we're like packing these places on like a Wednesday. And so it started turning a lot of heads, and promoters started like hitting us up and took advantage of us, because we were just, kids. We didn't really know what we were doing. We didn't have management. We didn't have, and we're like, yeah, we'll start. We started doing business with these guys, and next thing you know, man, we were doing. God, I'm trying to think. I was trying to think of the first show the other day. Sea Rays Walls. We did Sea Rays Walls. Sold that out, and then it was like from there, it was like the word got around, and the next thing you know, I got a call from Ryan Lamer, Phenomenon Concerts, and he's like, hey. He's like, you want to play this King Spade Head PE show? And I was like, oh, dude, hell yeah. Because I was always like a dream. I was, at the time, I had roadied for Mower since then. Like I roadied for Mower when I got back from Canada. That's kind of how I met all the Suburban Noize guys. That's how I met Chucky Chuck, D-Lo, Richter, Judge D, Big B, Dirtball. I met all those dudes, like Bobby B. I met them all in like one night pretty much. The only ones I didn't meet at the time was Kevin Zinger, Daddy X, Pakalika, Taxman. Those were like the only four. Like everybody else I met. So, and that's when I started roadieing for Mower. And fast forward, we're doing shows at CCS Crew. We finally get the offer. Now we're opening up for King Spade and Head PE. And the promoter was like, "Can you sell 100 tickets in 6 days?" And I was just like, "Yeah." And he was just like, "Yeah, okay." He's like, "Yeah, right." And we did like 100 tickets in 4 days or something like that. He couldn't believe it. So he was like, "Hey, man, you guys want to play Tech Nine Paul Wall in
Fire
like
Nice
3 weeks?"
tour.
Yeah, Fire and Ice Tour. And I was like, yeah. I was like, hell yeah, we'll do it. So then we did Fire and Ice, and that's when we got in with like Brendan Kimler and like Strange Music. And like next thing you know, anytime Tech came to Tucson, we were on it. We were playing it. So like we got to play all those, like we got to play God, like there was so many, bro. There was so many, man. The Hostile Takeover tour. There's the Lost City tour, the All Sixes and Sevens tour, Psychology 101 tour, man, where it was like the whole classroom on stage. Like,
Damn.
yeah, man, we did all those, bro. Like, so, and then that led to us doing shows. Like, we ended up opening for Ice Cube at the Rialto for the Raw Footage tour. We
What?
ended up doing, yeah, we ended up opening up for Nas. Like, so, like, we just kept getting bigger and bigger gigs, playing bigger and bigger venues in Tucson, and then branching out. We started playing all kinds of shows like Phoenix, Flagstaff, and really we just kind of overdid it. Like, we outplayed ourselves in our own state, in our own hometown, to the point where like people like couldn't afford to keep coming out and keep seeing us and keep, so like, and we were putting out CCS Crew albums. We put out Lyrical Bartenders. We put out Lords of Chaos. This was after the Canada one, and then we put out the fourth one was Mental Currency, and that one actually had Daddy X on it,
Oh, dope.
and it had Chucky Chuck on it, Daddy X, and that's when we got in really good with Brad Daddy X and Cottonmouth Kings, and we started opening for Cottonmouth Kings anytime they would come into town, and they knew us because we had roadied for Mower, and like we had roadied for Mower in San Diego and Arizona, so like that's when we got to meet Kevin Zinger and all that. So that was all like between 05 and 2011 when all that shit that I just mentioned happened. So
Damn.
like, yeah. So like CCS Crew was kind of a big deal. It was a big deal in Tucson and in Arizona for sure. We were always trying to branch into going to that national level. We were trying to get signed to Suburban Noize Records. We were trying to get signed to Strange Music. We almost at one point got signed to Sick With It Records, E40's label, because we were doing shows with E40, and like they were really impressed with us. We had like a singer in the group. We were kind of diverse, Like I would do like some chopping, like fast rap shit, but we had a dude who hit these high notes and sang. He was more like R&B, and so it was kind of a mixed bag, you know what I'm saying, that we had going on. And it just, man, like it just, all I can chalk it up to is that basically creative differences within the group on top of drugs and money issues, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's all fucked up, like, and it was just like everybody got hooked on fucking pills and like Percocets, and like I had my little stint with that shit, but I beat that shit, and everybody
Wow.
just kind of started. Yeah, just unfortunately the CCS Crew shit, like I'd started finding myself doing more solo shit, and like that's kind of what happened is that sadly, one of our guys moved to Flagstaff, and it was really hard to get him to come to rehearsals and to be at all the shows. And yeah, man, it's sadly, dude, CCS Crew just kind of fizzed out, and we never really broke up, and we're all still cool with each other, and now everybody's gotten their shit together. They either went to jail, they went to prison, they got hooked on shit, they got sober, they, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, but everybody got on top of their shit, and everybody's doing really good now. So there could be a CCS Crew reunion at some point. I've been trying for it and hoping for it, that we get to do something down the road. But since 2014, 2015, dude, it has been all Stacc Styles solo shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the CCS Crew music still online somewhere? Can we find
Yes.
that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's 4 CCS Crew albums. It'll be really hard to find Reviving Elements or Lords of Chaos, the first two, but the other two, Lyrical Bartenders and Mental Currency, those ones you can find pretty much anywhere. Like you should be able to find those like anywhere. And then there was the Crop mixtape that's out there too, circulating. So there's a lot of CCS Crew stuff out there, still around. And I'm actually gonna put out a 20-year like anniversary. We've been talking about it for like 2 years, but we're gonna put together like a compilation of like kind of like a greatest hits, but also unreleased material, unreleased songs, So eventually that's going to come out on dopeshoprecords.com.
Okay.
So yeah.
Dope. Okay, so for the people that don't know, you mentioned Kevin Zinger earlier. He is the founder and owner of Suburban Noize. It was him and Daddy X that started it, if I'm not correct, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Daddy X definitely was like the brainchild. He was the star. It was his baby, but he brought in Zinger as his partner. And then, long story short, Zinger ended up taking it over.
Yeah. So now you keep building and you're rocking solo now. Spoiler alert, you end up signing to Sub Noise, but how do we get to that? How do we get there?
All right. So I put out my first solo album in 2015. It was called Inside the Ride. And it'll tell everywhere you look it up, it'll say 2018, but it really came out in 2015. Inside the Ride was my first solo album. I did drop an EP before that, a solo EP called While I'm Waiting. That's like super rare.
Okay.
But the Inside the Ride and me dropping that in 2015, I was trying to get signed to Suburban Noize. Suburban Noize closed its doors in 2016. They cataloged the label, which means it was still a thing, but it was just basically like a website and a catalog with the artists. Like there was no, they put out one Big B album, one Richter album in 2016. That was it. And then they cataloged it. So from, 2016, 2017, 18, 19, 3 years, no Suburban Noize, no SRH. And so my dream and my goal was always to be on that label with CCS Crew. I never really wanted to go solo, bro. My goal was I always believed in CCS Crew that they were going to make it. We were going to make it. We were going to get signed to Suburban Noize Records. That was my dream because I didn't want to be signed to Aftermath or Def Jam or what. I wanted to be signed to Suburban Noize Records. That was my shit. That's what I wanted. And, so it was my dream and my goal, and it never happened. And I saw when in 2016, when they made it a catalog, I was like, well, there goes that. I was just like, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to get with Suburban Noize or SRH or anything like that. So I kind of like felt like I needed to kind of like switch things up and change things up. So like I started wearing suits and ties and like did my hair different. And I came up with this whole concept for the second solo album. It was going to be called Mr. Purple. And I was basically going to be like some Reservoir Dogs shit. If you watch Reservoir Dogs, like he said, Mr. Purple's the guy on the other job. You never see Mr. Purple, but he's the guy on the other job, right? So I was going to be Mr. Purple, the guy on the other job. So I started doing like wearing like suits and ties when I'd rock on stage and shit, like had a, clean haircut and shit. So like I kind of changed my whole style to do this whole Mr. Purple thing. And that's when I was like, like Stacc Styles, that's what I do. I stack the style. So it's like, I'm always, each album, each project, each thing, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to do something like a little different each time. And so Mr. Purple was born. And I was trying to get that was supposed to be an EP, and then it turned into a full length album. And I was supposed to put that out in 2016 and 2017. And like I started doing shit with Lethal Injection, who was a new metal band, like hip hop rap, and started doing a lot of work with them. So everything with Mr. Purple got put on pause, and I didn't end up getting that out until 2020.
Okay.
But in 2019, when I was getting ready to start putting that out, and I was done with Lethal Injection, and I was starting to like really get back into focusing on Mr. Purple and getting this project out, and I'd already put out a single and a video for it in 2017. So I'm like, here we go. It's like 2 years later. It's like 4 years since I put out. It had been so long to put this record out, and finally I'm about to put this project out. And in 2019, Suburban Noize Records relaunches. The Suburban Noize Records comes back out. SRH comes back out. They do a contest. The winner of the contest is supposed to get a record deal and play the SRH Fest at Sea Legs on the beach in Huntington Beach.
Huge.
So huge. Yeah.
This is your opportunity.
This is my opportunity, right? So I ended up finishing fourth. I did not get first or second place. First and second place went to Ernie D and Kyle Smith. So they got the slots. They ended up playing, but they didn't get signed. For some reason, Zinger didn't sign those guys, even though they won the thing. I don't know what happened or what the deal was. I pushed Mr. Purple to the forefront because I saw Zinger at the show at the time. My boy Andy Kane, the homie Andy, he was helping me out, and he was basically being my acting as my manager, because the manager that I had at the time, me and him split, and he ended up passing away. Super sad shit. So, so this dude is helping me out. He pushes Mr. Purple to Zinger, and they listened to it and they turned it down. Like I didn't get the deal, and I just was trying for a 1-album deal with Mr. Purple, and it didn't happen. So I was kind of bummed. Put out Mr. Purple. I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna start my own record label. Almost, I had already been talking about it, and we started Dope Shop Records in November of 2020, and we launched Mr. Purple with Dope Shop Records. On November 20th of 2020, we launched Mr. Purple with Dope Shop Records, launched the company and launched it. But this is still during COVID. So it took me like 2 years to get the LLC, or a year and a half after 2020, because the courts were closed and all this shit. So it was just like, it was a pain in the ass, dude, to do everything I wanted to do. But I finally was able to do it. And then in 2022, I got on the Underground Alliance tour with King Click and Blazy Dead Homie. And when I got on that tour, me and Richter and Chucky had already done the Back to the Hotel music video. And that's kind of what led me getting on that tour. And Obnoxious ended up quitting the tour. So King Click kind of put me in his spot. And I was rocking with Richter and Chucky every night on the Underground Alliance tour on their set. And they put in the good word for me for Zinger. They told Zinger that they're like, dude, Stack's solid. He does good work. And, you should really fucking check this dude out. And sure as shit, I had a demo that I had set up. Well, actually, it was supposed to be an EP that I recorded out in California, and I recorded with Neutron and LD. LD was the DJ for Sublime with Rome. Neutron had done a lot of work with like D-Loc and Drip Drops and stuff like that. Like he recorded all kinds of artists. So, but my boy Andy introduced me to those dudes. So I recorded. I was supposed to record an EP with those guys. Ended up being like a full-length album, and took that to Zinger. And Zinger was like, "Hey man, I want you to come out to my house." He's like, "I usually do meetings at the office." He's like, "But I'm gonna do this one different." And he's like, "I want you to come to my house on Cinco de Mayo." So I drove all the way from New Mexico to Malibu, and went to Zinger's house on Cinco de Mayo. And
what do you think is gonna happen? Are you super excited?
I don't know, bro. Like I was tripping. I was just like, whoa, because we didn't know. Like I'm thinking for sure it's gonna happen, but at the same time, I'm like, there's no guarantees, like there's no guarantees. Like we don't know what's gonna happen here. So we showed up, and it was me and Andy, and we're at his house, and we kicked it, and dude, Zinger's a super busy dude. He's on the phone, and then finally, like, he's like, yo, like, let's do this. And first things first, I showed him the videos. I had already shot the music video for Leave with the King with Richter, and I had the music video for Renegade with Obnoxious. And at the time, Richter and Obnoxious both, are with Suburban Noize Records. I'm not technically with it, but they are. So I had those 2 videos in the canon with his artist on it. And then I had the whole album with me as well. So he watched the videos. I want to say he watched those videos like 2 or 3 times each. And then we went back and played pool, and we listened to the album like 2 or 3 times, like over while we were playing pool. And then we went out and we chopped it up next to his pool. And like, he was asking, he's like, yo, what does James think? What does this person think? What does Troy think? And they were like, yeah, everybody loves it. Everybody's digging it. And he's like, all right. He's like, well, let me think about it. And bro, it took like over a month. It took like a couple of months before I heard anything.
You had to be in suspense the whole time.
So the whole time I'm just sitting there going like, dude, did we fuck up? Did we do something? Did we do it right? Did we do like I haven't heard nothing? Like, man, I was like, we must have fucked that up or something, And then boom, out of nowhere, it was like, I got the call and it's like, oh, we're doing it. Like, and it was like, I got the email. Let's see. So I got the call that we were doing it. And I want to say that was a few months, probably like 2 or 3 months later. And then I didn't get the contract until October 13th of 2023 is when I got the contract. And then I signed it on my wife's birthday on October 24th, 2023 is when I officially signed to Suburban Noize Records and sent everything over after, I had everybody look over everything. So, and that was it, man. That's how I got signed to Suburban Noize Records. And from there, it was on and cracking, bro. Like from that point forward, it was like I'd had to work 10 times than I've ever had to work in my life. Like just 10 times harder than ever before, 100 times harder. So yeah.
That's huge, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was a 2-album deal. And so it's for Live Your Best Life and Stacc Spades. And I just put out Stacc Spades. So my 2-year my 2-album deal is accomplished. You know what I'm saying? Like I've fulfilled my obligation, but I'm still technically under contract with Suburban Noize Records and SRH. And there has been talks about us maybe putting out a full length to the Richter EP, because me and Richter put out a smoking section EP. So there's talks of us putting out a full length. I don't know if it's going to happen because the label got cataloged again after I put out this last one. So on March 13th, when I put out Stacc Spades, they cataloged the label again like they did in 2016. So is there going to be any new stuff coming out on Suburban Noize Records? Maybe. Could happen. I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon. I don't know. Like everything's kind of up in the air. So, but the new album is out, and my run with Suburban Noize Records and SRH is still going. And fuck, dude, much love. Big shout out to SRH, Suburban Noize Records. Love all those dudes. It's been one hell of a journey.
You had a goal to essentially sign to Sub Noize and team up with KMK, and you essentially did. I mean, you did it, bro. How does that feel to, as a kid growing up, starting to mess with hip hop? You set a goal on your horizon, you work hard at it, you hit all these obstacles, you keep pushing, and you go, this is where I want to be. I don't want to be over here at Def Jam. I don't want to be over here at Jive or wherever else. You say I want to be at Sub Noize, and you kept pushing and you kept fighting and you got there.
Yeah, man. And it was crazy too, because like that was like my dream ever since I was like 15, was to get up on that label and to work with all those dudes. And yeah, it's honestly, man, it's kind of just it's one of those things where I'm just like, fuck, dude, I can't believe I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like, holy shit, like bro, you did it. You accomplished your goal, man. You set a goal and you did it. And it's crazy, man. Like it's like and I'm glad. I'm really happy. I'm glad I did it. I couldn't be more happier. You know what I'm saying? That I accomplished these goals and did my thing. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's one of those things where it's like you get there and it's like you want more. Like you always want more, and it's just like there was so much I wanted to do. Like I wanted to do like Sub Noize Soldiers 5, and like there's so many things I was like pushing for. In that label, with that label, and I'm still pushing for it. Like, so, it's just one of those things where it's like, right when I got signed, dude, Sublime came into the fold. You know what I'm saying? Like Zinger started managing Sublime, like right when they picked me up. So I just kind of got swallowed up in that wave. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, all the attention and everything shifted to Sublime, as it should. You know what I'm saying? Like it's Sublime, bro. Like fucking, you know what I'm saying? That's a big deal, and that's a lot of money, and it generates a lot of dollars and shit. So it's like it makes sense for Regime Music Group and SRH and Suburban Noize to turn their attention to those kind of things. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't know, like Regime Music Group, like Zinger, that's Zinger's. He owns that. He owns Regime, dude, and that's like the main company. And it's like, bro, they have Sublime, they have Everlast, they have Bruce Springsteen now, they have War,
Wow.
the band War. Yeah, War's in there, dude. Fucking Dilated Peoples, the Ataris, um, Amigo the Devil. Uh, there's a lot of big names in there, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like Suburban Noize Records and the Suburban Noize Records artists are really like low on that totem pole. You know what I'm saying? So like we get the attention last. So like we're dead last on that list, dude. So but
Do
it's
you?
all love. It's all love. I love Suburban Noize Records. I love SRH. I love Kevin Zinger, the brand, everything it stands for. And I'm so honored and happy and grateful to be a part of it and to be a part of history and to be, I mean, I'm fucking dude. I got as soon as I got signed, dude, I told everybody, I was like, the day I get signed to SRH and Suburban Noize Records, I'll tat the logos on me, you know. So I did, you know, as soon as, and I did it up in the office too. I went up in the office and told Zinger, I was like, clear out a desk, bro. I'm getting tattooed in the office, dude. He was like, he's like, all right, bro, you're crazy. So he did. Yeah. I went up in the office with my tattoo artist and they cleared out a desk for me and filmed me getting tattooed up in there. And I think it's up on one of the pages on like their YouTube or something like that.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I in my stint working with Strange Music, which was pretty decent, I ran into a lot of very cool people at the office getting to make trips in there. Did you have any experience? I mean, I'm sure going to studio sessions and stuff like that. You just listed off a phenomenal cast of artists that are affiliated with Sub Noise and Regime Music. Did you cross paths with a lot of these dudes going to the office or going to like studio sessions and stuff like that?
No, you know, actually, what's crazy is that they wanted to do like when they had me get the tattoos and everything and like do the whole initiation. They wanted to have everybody come up and like, you know, kind of do like like, yo, like Stack's the new guy and the shit. But like they hit everybody up and everybody, it was just like everybody's like, yeah, we're gonna make it. And then they like nobody showed up except for Richter. Actually, Richter showed up, which is crazy because that dude it misses everything. So it was just fucking like, you know, it's kind of funny that he was the one that showed up. But it was cool, you know. Like Richter was the one I ran into the most, you know, and Ivory Daniels, Kevin Zinger. It was always cool going up in the office, dude. I love going up in the office. I still, anytime I'm in LA, I always stop by and say what up to everybody, you know. So like, it's really cool going up into Regime Music and Suburban Noize and just chopping it up with everybody. They got like a pool table up there and like me and DJ Swamp, we're always playing pool up there. Me, Richter goes up there and just plays pool. He just, you know, takes over and shit. So, and it's cool. They got, you know, they got like, they got like a bunch of like, they got like a fridge up there with a bunch of drinks. They're like sponsored by Monster and shit. So they got all kinds of cool stuff up there. So it's a cool experience and it's a cool office. I didn't get to run into anybody though, like, you know, like Everlast or, anybody like that. Like I always ask too, because like I was like, isn't that Mad Child's office? And they're like, yeah, he's been here like once. So, you know, so I never ran into Mad Child or anybody like that, dude. But and shit, dude, that's dope. It's Strange, bro. Like I've always wanted to go to Strange. I've always wanted to stop by and say what up and shit. And check out Strange. I've never checked it out.
It's very cool. Trav and Tech have 4 buildings, I want to say now, that are monstrous warehouses. That I've gotten tours. When I went down there as part of the street team captains, I got taken down there and they took us out to eat, and then a second time when I went down there, they catered in food and we got to hang out. Jerry Robinson was just coming on board, and he was part of the squad, and he was in there in the recording studio when we got a tour of that and got to see the whole the recording setup. And
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah, bro, it was always a very cool treat to get to see the inner workings of Strange Music and how they have it all put together. And it sounds like it's a lot of the same kind of format and setup that Sub Noise has. And
Yeah. There's a
they were
studio up there. There's a studio up in Regime and in Suburban Noize. Like I was in there a few times to cut like promos and stuff like that and like commercials and stuff. They never I think the last time that they actually like recorded in there was when they did the King Click record with Richter and Obnoxious and Chucky. Uh, I don't think they've really recorded in there since then. If they have, I don't know. They had me in there a bunch to do like promos and stuff, but they had the engineer had like taken most of the stuff out of it and shit like that. But it was it's a really nice studio, man. It's a nice recording studio that they have up in there. But I always do my recording at Voodoo Child Studios in OC in Orange County, downtown Santa Ana, man. Like, dude, you can't beat those dudes like Neutron and a DJ Zol and LD, man. Like those dudes are fire, dude. Like, they just keep getting better and better, you know.
That's dope. Okay, so let's talk. Before we run out of time. Let's talk
Yeah,
Stack of Spades. That's your newest offering, and it sounds
yeah,
like you're as you should be. Sounds like you're extremely proud of this one.
very
Yeah,
definitely.
and that is you, and then a lot of scratches and cuts from DJ Swamp.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Hell yeah, hell
Yeah,
yeah.
lots of DJ Swamp on here for sure, man. Lots of DJ Swamp on here. He also is on the last one, Live Your Best Life, which is also on Suburban Noize Records, but he did way more work on this one.
Now, when you went into this one, what was your mind state? Did you have a plan already? Like, this is what we're gonna do, and like,
Absolutely. Yeah, dude. Like, cause like the first one was really like, it was just kind of, it was supposed to just be like a demo. Like it was supposed to just be an EP to shop to Suburban Noize and see what they said. We ended up turning that into like a full length, and we ended up having like Obnoxious and Chucky Chuck on it and Johnny Richter on it. And like, but a Big Henry from Slamerican was on it. So like, it was kind of like, it was just kind of really like almost like a bunch of singles kind of like thrown together. You know what I'm saying? Like it came together real quick, like Live Your Best Life. It was interesting how that one came about. But this one, going into Stack of Spades, I knew exactly what I wanted to do because like I said, I've been like, I've been shooting to try to bring everybody together, man. Like that was always my goal was like, hey, if we can bring everybody together for like, you know, a new like Cottonmouth Kings Hidden Stash 6 or Sub Noise Soldiers 5 or fucking King Spade fucking 3. I don't give a shit. I just wanted to give the fans what they wanted. My whole goal and my whole vision getting signed to Suburban Noize Records and SRH was, dude, you're a fan of this shit. You've been a fan of this shit your whole life. What do you want as a fan, and what would the fans want? Like, so that was my whole goal was like, yo, give the fans what they fucking want, bro. And everybody I talked to was like, I was like, if you, what do you want? What do you like? If you could get anything, what would you want? Most people said they would want Sub Noise Soldiers 5, or they want all the Kings to get back together, all the original members to get back together, the ones that are still alive,
sure.
or they want a new King Spade. So I was like, well, I can't do any of those things. So like, what's the best thing? How can I try to bring all of those things together in real time, in real life? So I was like, I set out on a mission I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to get Richter on a track. I'm going to get D-Loc on a track. I'm going to get them all. I'm going to get as many of the OGs as I possibly can. Everybody who paved the way for Suburban Noize Records. So I started looking at, like, who started Suburban Noize Records? What were the artists that started besides Daddy X, like besides Corporate Avenger? Who were the hip hop artists that started it? And it was like, okay, it's D-Loc, it's Grand Vernacular, it's Dog Boy, it's Johnny Richter, it's Saint Dog, like it's, you know, Pakalika. It's like, these are the guys, you know what I'm saying? And then the next tier after that of the guys was like Chucky Chuck and D-Gap and Judge D and fucking like, so I'm like, okay, how do I bring it all together? So that was my goal, is to start bringing it all together. And so one by one, I started getting everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like Andy Kane was able to get a hold of Dog Boy. Fucking shouts out to him for that, because he linked me with Dog Boy, and then we got Dog Boy on the song. And I've been wanting to do a song with Dog Boy since I was 15. So it was amazing to have him on this record, to be in the studio with him, to work with him, to hear his stories and everything was amazing. Love Dog Boy, and super blessed and grateful that he's on this album. Then I got Chucky. The Saint Dog verse was, you know, because Saint passed in 2020. So the Saint Dog verse is from the vault. It's you know, it's actually a couple different verses from the vault that Swamp fucking like chopped up and blended together and did his magic. And so like it came out really cool that he did that. And so I had everybody on this. I had everybody rocking and rolling. I had everybody Richter. Richter. I had recorded a bunch of songs with Richter so a couple years ago. Like after we did Leave with the King video, I want to say later that year, we linked back up and we started knocking stuff out. And that was because he owed me from previous stuff. Like I had paid him like to get on. So like he still owed me a couple songs. So we did more Peace of Mind. I was with him when he called Zinger and was like, hey, we're going to do a sequel to Peace of Mind off number 7. And he's like, that's my song. I wrote it. But he's like, I just want to call you and like see if that's cool. And Zinger was like, well, he's like, Cleopatra owns all those masters now. So he's like, I'll clear it with Cleopatra. He's like, but yeah, he's like, is it the original beat? And Richter's like, no. He's like, Stacc got this beat from, it's an exclusive beat that he got from another producer. And Zinger's like, cool, no problem. And he's like, I'll green light it. So I talked to Richter and I was like, hey, it is more Peace of Mind. I was like, is there any way I could get like Loke or Chucky on this? And like, so we have everybody. And then Richter was like, nah. He's like, Richter's like, I'd appreciate it if it was just me and you on this song. I don't want anybody else on it. And I was like, okay, cool. I respect that. I can't say like, fuck you, dog. Like, no, we can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. So that's what I did. So I couldn't get anybody on the Richter song that I wanted to do. So I had everybody on it, and all I needed was D-Loc and Judge D, right? And really, I really just needed D-Loc. Like that was, like Judge was like a bonus, you know what I'm saying? If I could get Judge. So I reached out to these dudes. I'm trying to get them on it. They were like, dude, we're working on our shit. We can't record anything new until 2026. So like, let me see if we can find you like some throwaway shit or whatever, like some like old shit. Well, I was recording with my producer Neutron, and he's just like, hey, bro. He's like, I have some old shit from them that they never paid for. They just left me hanging. He's like, I've had it for 4 years. And he's like, he didn't even know Judge was on it. He just was, he's like, so he played it for me. And I listened to it and I was like, he's like, it's just D-Loc. And I listened to it and I was like, no, that's D-Loc and Judge. And I was like, so this is 4 years old. They never paid you for it. Nothing like that. And he's like, no. And I was like, well, that sucks. He's like, yeah. He's like, they did bad business. And I was like, well, they're the homies. So I was like, can I pay their debt? I was like, how much do they owe? It was like $350. So I was like, I was like, all right, cool. I was like, can I pay their debt and then buy the beat from you exclusively? Because he made the beat for that song. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I would love that. That'd be awesome. He's like, that would definitely put things in a different light. And so I was like, all right, cool. So we move forward on a positive foot,
For sure.
So yeah, so I paid the debt and then paid for the beat. And then he's like, you've got to get permission to use the vocals from Dustin and from Judge. So I was like, all right, cool. Reached out multiple times, just kept getting the runaround. Finally, Judge had me come over and me and him chopped it up and everything. And basically, long story short, he gave me the permission to use that version. He was just like, yeah, you can use that version of the beat. And how we were going to do it was I was originally supposed to be on one of their songs and they were going to be on one. Like, so I was going to be on their album and they were going to be on my album. That
like
was
a trade out.
It was a trade out. Yeah. And we've been talking about it for 2 years. 2 years. And the reason Swamp did a bunch of scratches for him to do the trade out. So they got all the scratches from Swamp, but we still hadn't done the trade out. So then me and Judge agreed that like, okay, I'll take the Neutron version, because that's some old shit. You guys can't record anything new, right? And then I'm gonna be on the next project. So not the first project, but the next project. Well, almost a year goes by, and he's just like, no, dude, I just said you could use the beat, not the lyrics. So I was
did
like,
you guys do any kind of paperwork or anything?
No, and that's the thing, is like, it was just like a handshake, like, cool, like, and so I was like, dude, if I would have thought it was a problem or an issue, I would have never put it out in the first place. Because like, those are my boys. Like,
For sure.
I'm cool with all those dudes. Like, and all I was trying to do was give the fans what they wanted and put everything together. And I was told by the people that had my best interest at the time, like my dude that was supposed to be my manager and shit, you know what I'm saying? They said my acting manager. He's like, oh, dude, I already handled it. It's already taken care of. No, don't worry about it. Done deal. Like, don't even worry about it. Just keep doing your thing. Like, I know these dudes. I got it handled. And I was like, well, hey, dude, like, I need to make sure it's cool with Loke. So I fucking emailed Loke and just told Loke in the email, I was like, dude, hey, I just want to say, like, here's to the Dome I just gave him one of my songs with me and Chucky on it. Was like, you and Judge get on it, put it on whatever project you want. Thank you so much for, doing the trade and letting me have the pounds to grams. I appreciate it. Much love. Just so he knew what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Because like I was kind of uncertain that because my guy's like going like, yeah, don't worry about it. I took care of it. And I'm like, okay, you took care of it. And he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm just like, I don't know. And then
Let's circle back around.
yeah, so I circle back around. So then me and Loke ended up doing another song called Live to Blaze. And then he calls me and we're talking on the phone, we're chopping it up and everything's all cool. And he was like, dude, sorry. He's like, I got your email. He's like, I sorry we haven't done this. And I gotten this handled. And he's just like, finally we're getting to do a track and da 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 da. But he said he read the email. So like I'm thinking he knows everything's cool because I'm like, okay, cool. He read the email. He knows what's up. We're doing this new song now. Like we're good. Everything's cool. Well, once the track release came out, once the track list got leaked, then all of a sudden they're hitting me up going, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? And I was just like, dude, I thought everything was cool. I was told that it was cool. You know what I'm saying? And then I start getting told by these dudes. They're like, hey, they're like, we'll handle it. Like, you gotta focus on your shit. Don't worry about this. And I'm like, bro, this is a big deal. Like, this is, like these dudes are pissed. Like, so we gotta fix this, dude. And they're like, dude, we can't pull the album. We're already in a chart position. We can't postpone it. We can't pull it. All we can do is put it out. And when we put it out in 30 days, we can swap it. And they're like, that's what you say. That's what you do. So I'm just doing what I was told to do the whole time.
These are friend relationships on top of business relationships. And
Yeah,
so then you're
correct.
like, I'm in an awkward spot. These are my homies on top of people I work with.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Right. And I was caught in the middle of all this shit and I'm being told multiple things and being pulled in multiple directions and like being like, yo, you should talk to this person. No, you should talk to that person. And I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, this is ridiculous over fucking one song. Like, and this whole thing is just a misunderstanding. So me and Loke talked again on an email and he was like, bro, it sucks that this happened. He's like, it sucks that it's fucking gonna be leaked and it's gonna come out. He's like, because this is for like my weed brand and shit, And like, so I was like, dude, I was like, I understand. I was like, he's like, well, no. He's like, I appreciate you doing the right thing. He's like, you're gonna swap the tracks out with the new one we did with that old one. And he's like, so I appreciate that. And he's like, let's just do that. Let's keep it on the radar, not say anything. So me and Loke already agreed like on how to handle it and handled it like adults and everything was fine. And then when the album came out, fucking, I guess not everybody got the memo, but all of a sudden it was like, Judge and a couple other people. Like, I want to say a few people, but it looks like a lot of those accounts were fake. A lot of those were fake accounts. So it's like, it's probably like him and maybe a couple other people. I don't know. But then they started saying I stole the track, that I'm a liar, that I'm a thief, that I stole like the whole album, that the album's not, that I'm not even with Suburban Noize Records or SRH, that I stole Richter from SRH and Suburban Noize and signed him secretly to Dope Shop and am funding his drug habit and all this bullshit, bro. Like all this just ridiculous
Trolls.
Nonsense, bro. Just absolute nonsense. And so like they were trying to discredit me. They're trying to drag my name. They're trying to discredit the album. So I had to say something, bro. And like I was being told, like, don't say anything. Keep your head down. Just focus on other shit. And I'm like, bro, like when I'm getting my name dragged by fucking dudes that are supposed to be my homies, and like, and we've already handled this through the other homie. Like, I gotta say something, bro. I gotta protect my name because I ain't no punk, bro. I ain't gonna get my name dragged for no fucking reason like that, dude. Like, especially when it's not true. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to say something about the misunderstanding on the song. Yeah, like that shit shouldn't have gone down like that. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks. And I apologize for any wrongdoing that I had on my behalf. And the only thing I apologized for was not going to fucking Dustin in the first place and fucking and listening to other people and relying thinking that other people had it handled and had it covered and I was all good. That's the only mistake that I made. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I didn't do anything wrong. I was told one thing and then they flipped it on me. So that's what happened. That's totally it's exactly what happened. And I have no problem telling people the truth and being honest and being respectful and just telling people like, yo, this is what went down. This is how it happened, you know? Like I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm just telling the truth.
Yeah.
So
So now has the song swap already happened?
yeah,
Okay, everything's been rectified on Apple Music and Spotify and everything.
right.
Cool.
Right.
And
Correct.
then have you talked to them dudes since then? Is everything cool now? Like, did it
No,
kind
see, that's the thing. I did reach out to Chucky on his birthday and just told him, you know, like, hey man, I love you, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would never take you off of anything because Chucky was upset because he thought we took him off the song because he said he's on the song. I never had a version with him on it, brother. Like if I had a version with Chucky on it, he'd be on it for sure. Like
that's a
that's my
benefit.
yeah, that's my dude, bro. Like I would never take him off of nothing, dude. Like fuck no. Like so, you know what I'm saying? Like I just like, and my producer wouldn't have done that either. Like with my producer, like he didn't even know fucking Judge was on it when he showed it to me, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he would, and my producer, like he was just trying to get paid, bro. That's it. He was just trying to do business, man. Like he was just trying to get money that was owed to him. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really get mad at him, you know, for doing what he did. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was trying to do things the right. We were both trying to do the right thing. We were both trying to make things right, like with everybody. You know what I'm saying? And all I ever tried to do was bring everybody together and put out this dope ass record because I knew that it was going to be my last album on Suburban Noize Records, and that Zinger was going to probably catalog the label because he told me he was like, "Dude, you're the last active member I have on the roster right now for Suburban Noize Records," and he's like, "You're my flag bearer." He's like, "You're running it. You're carrying the flag right now." And he's like, once we put out this stack of spades, he's like, it's a conglomerate, it's a collab between Suburban Noize and Dope Shop, you know. And he's like, once we put out this record, he's like, the label's catalog for now until I decide to come back to it and do something with it, you know, because I understand why he's doing that because he's so busy with Sublime and Regime and shit. So
So
totally understandable.
what's the fate of the song Pounds to Grams? Is that, I mean, obviously it's kind of shelved or whatever, but do you still own that? And
Yeah, I own because it's the producer gave me the track stems and the exclusive rights to the song. So I have the exclusive contract from the producer in writing, and the producer backs me 100% that hey, he's already said publicly, he's like, yo, that's Stack's song, like period. Stack's the only one who paid me, and that's the bottom line. So that's coming from the producer himself.
yeah.
So I have the song, but I don't own the lyrics. Like I own my lyrics, you know what I'm saying? But I don't own their lyrics. So it's shelved. It's if you get the physical, if you can find a physical copy of the vinyl or the CD with that version on it, then fucking more power to you, dude. It's a collector's item now, you
Right.
know? Yes, because it is. It's a collector's item now. If you have the version of Stack of Spades with the CD or the vinyl that has that song on it, then yeah, because the new version has Live to Blaze on it, not Pounds to Grams, and the new version has D-Lo, not Judge. Like it doesn't have D-Lo and Judge. It's just D-Lo. So yeah, and it's a bummer, dude. It sucks for me because it's like, dude, like I love, like this is another thing too, man, because everybody was like come like, oh dude, like you fucking stole from them and like you owe them and you need to pay them. And it's like, bro, I offered to pay them. I've always offered to pay them from day one. Fucking anything I could do to make it right. And it's like, bro, if you think I would intentionally do anything to hurt my favorite band, my favorite group of all time that I fucking like love and wanted to tour with, work with, have worked with, have toured with, and still want to. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to have your head examined, dude, if you really think that I would intentionally do anything to fuck with those dudes.
Well,
So
and according to, I mean, like, I guess, we've only talked a few times, but
yeah,
based on your entire account and everything that you said that you wanted to do from the beginning of you telling me this story, your intentions were pure. Your whole goal was to work with these guys. They were your heroes, they were your homies. You know what I mean? You started as a roadie and worked your way, paid your dues to be able to work with all of these dudes, and you earned a spot on the team. And so it doesn't sound like to me that that's somebody that would want to come in and just throw that all out the window for a money grab or something. You had zero interest in doing that, and you were trying to bring people together, as you said. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you were,
absolutely. That was the whole goal, man, was to bring everybody together. And I was trying to get everybody like on the same song and like on the same page. I couldn't do that, but I did the best I could to get everybody at least on the same project. And because I always spoke that to everybody, I was like, like the more SRH and Cottonmouth Kings come together, the more Suburban Noize Records and all these artists come together, the more unity, the more we show unity, the more fans are going to be like, fuck yeah, we're so back. You know what I'm saying? We're so fucking back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like that was what I was brought in to do, was to really get the Suburban Noize Records and SRH fans like so stoked and back on track to where they're just like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. Like, we got this new artist. He's fucking dope. Like, this dude spits fire and he's bringing all the boys back together. Fuck yeah, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So it was just kind of it was kind of a shock to me, dude, like that it even, because I thought everything was cool and we were cool, man. It really sucked that it fucking it went down the way it did. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it shouldn't have gone down like that, bro. Like, yeah, I feel like I could have been treated better in the whole situation. I feel like the whole situation could have been treated better. And I feel like too, it's just like, for me, it's like I've got nothing but love and respect for SRH and Sub Noize and Cottonmouth Kings. And it's like, I just feel like it's been like a one-way street, like it's like what, like it's been all me, you know what I'm saying? It's like, where's the love back? Where's the reciprocation? You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's like Suburban Noize and SRH has done the bare minimal, like in the last year. At first it was like gung ho, and then it's like, and I get it, like they're busy, it's a skeleton crew and they got bigger fish to fry, but it's just one of those things where it's like, love all those dudes. I just wish it was different,
yeah. When the turmoil was happening, was there anybody like Zinger or anybody from the label that kind of stepped in to try and help assist in like mediating things and trying to clear it? Because obviously it's in their best interest too, because it's going to be on their project.
Right. Yeah, I mean, kind of. It was more or less that they just didn't want any involvement. They were just like, yo, like, we don't want any drama. We don't want
Play
any
neutral.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much how it went down, brother. I just realized my laptop's about to die.
Okay.
What?
It's all good.
I can plug in real quick, or if you want to
yeah. I thought you were going to say you had to jump off, and I was going to say we can just put a pin in this if you want. We've been rocking for like an hour and 20 minutes. And
oh, damn. Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, this was a phenomenal interview. Everything went off without a hitch. So if you want, we can just put a pin in it. If you want to do a round 2, I would love to get you on again, bro.
Let's do that. Let's put a pin in it. Let's put a pin in it and do round 2.
Hell yeah. This was awesome, bro.
We'll pick up where we left off.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you jumping on with me, Stacc Styles. This was a phenomenal episode.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate it, dude. I can't wait to do it again and continue to be continued.
That's right. All right, man. This was your boy Wilson from EmceeTV and the one and only
Stacc Styles, baby.
Hell yeah. And we out. Thank you so much for everybody liking, sharing. The chat went crazy. We had a gang of people up in here. Shout out to Los and Loud Podcast. Rev Green was up in here. Face AZ 520 dropped a bunch of emojis. There was a gang of people up in here commenting on YouTube and really being interactive and sharing and supporting. So thank you so much. Until next time, we out. Peace.
Much love. Peace.
Been known to snatch a piece or two. Y'all can't take over cause we gon' eat the you. Rock steady like a ginger brought a Richter through. This shit
let's do it, man, for sure, dude. I shit's like in the red.
Y'all better duck down. Price on his dome, 5 on it like yuck mouth. When the plug get knocked, that's when the price jump. American Nightmare, that's where the spice won. Rappers running like Ricky in the alleyway. Putting an end to the week, no Saturday. They want static, get it shaking like Cassius Clay. passionate thugs mixing Douce with Alizé.
Don't play with us. Them goons ain't got you safe enough. Yelling fuck 'em like Smokey off the angel dust. My life's so real, sounds like I made it up. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up. Dangerous, sharper than a razor's touch. We hit that script and get the cake enough. God hate ugly, so ain't no saving us. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up.
Big balls don't